We usually think that when we're on this path, we must accumulate knowledge, find a state of mind, and then that state of mind is the permanent shift that just makes us perpetually happy. But the thing to consider is that this is absolutely wrong. And some people may know this, but the interesting thing is that they don't know an alternative. They don't know what would be the alternative to knowing that that's not true. The alternative to knowing that that's not true is that we actually go through a process of learning knowledge so that we can create the experience of the world. The world is made of knowledge, which means the world is basically made of imagination, things that aren't really there but appear to be there. And so once we accumulate knowledge, we remove the knowledge. So we get the knowledge, then we remove it. That means we learn something, then we forget what we learned so we can embody and live and experience that thing. Once we learn the thing, we don't need to keep and maintain the knowledge. If you've ever driven a car before, you'd know the experience of what that's like. Aside from that, what happens then is that on the spiritual path, we must accumulate provisional knowledge, which are called concessions, that we then remove. So everything you learn on the spiritual path is basically a lie that takes you to another lie, that takes you to another lie, that eventually takes you to nothing. And in the understanding of nothing, you understand the truth. It's like a joke, and the punchline is the rest of your life. So usually you tell a joke, why did chicken cross the road? I don't know, why did chicken cross the road? To get to the other side. To get to the other side, that part of the joke is the punchline, right? Usually, we expect there to be a punchline. We expect there to be some kind of state, some kind of experience, but we don't get that. Our life becomes the answer. Our life becomes the answer of truth. We don't get a definitive answer. We find clarity that there is absolutely no limitation to our being whatsoever. That clarity doesn't come in the form of a state. It doesn't come in the form of some kind of like objective experience. It doesn't come in the form of a feeling of happiness. We have to get rid of the belief that happiness is a perpetual feeling. People mistake happiness for being the experience of something when happiness is simply the absence of something. Another thing is that people believe happiness is not the goal. Happiness is 100% the goal. If you found the truth and you weren't happy, you would not be happy with the truth and you would still continue to seek. Truth and happiness are the same thing. We have to understand them as the same thing. Truth is the absence of illusion. Happiness is the absence of illusion. They're the same thing. They point to the same experience, which isn't an objective experience. It's the experience of reality. But reality isn't a thing, you see? So it's the experience of the absence, is what I call it. The experience of something that isn't there yet still exists. And that's what your being is. Your being is that thing which exists, but doesn't exist as an object. So that's the you that doesn't exist. Because usually we define existence by the fact that there is an observable thing that we can perceive objectively. Something we can say, yes, it does exist because. The minute you use the word because, if you can even use the word because in a sentence, it's because it's something in time and space. The word because describes reasons for things. It describes why something exists. It's because it came from something else and this thing and that thing. The hardest thing to comprehend is that we exist just without having cause, causeless existence. And once this causeless existence is understood by virtue of the process that I'm sharing right now, which is the process of removing knowledge, what we find is very simple. We realize that we don't have to get stuff. We simply have to let stuff that isn't there fall away. And this is the ancient traditions of what they've spoke about for a very long time. The neti-neti process is simply that, kind of. Neti-neti process is quite literally looking at things and saying, I'm not this, I'm not this. But we can take a deeper route. We can take an upgraded path. Instead of just seeing that I'm not this and not this, understanding, well, what is the this that appears to not be me, and why isn't it me? And the deeper we go in that direction, we realize I don't have to remove my thinking. I don't have to meditate my thoughts away. My thoughts are actually very powerful. My mind is actually very powerful. My mind can be used as a tool for self-realization. Most people try to get rid of the one thing they have, which is a mind, without realizing the mind It's our first technology. What would you do without your mind as God, right? What would you do without your mind? You do nothing, because everything is mind. When I say everything is mind, everything is consciousness in motion. Everything is God in action. And the action part of God is what we call mind. So to ever think of trying to get rid of that to experience truth is another illusion that has been adopted by nuanced misunderstandings that we found in the spiritual traditions. So in essence, the process of removing knowledge is what understanding is. The process of understanding is the process of removing knowledge. The more knowledge is, you could say, dissolved, the less tendency there is to go to knowledge or memory or thought when we are going in our direct experience. So most people, they don't want to face the void. They don't want to face the void of the unknown. So what they'll do is the minute it becomes the time to implement their understanding, they don't do it, because to implement understanding has to be from the unknown. And most people go to knowledge. They try to get something from memory or from a book or from Google or from ChatGPT to give them some objective data, which we call knowledge, in order to do something to get rid of something, instead of completely embracing their experience and letting truth, wisdom through intellect arise, which will give you exactly what is necessary to see truth in that moment. So basically, seek to see truth, don't seek to remove suffering. When you seek to see truth, there's absolutely nothing holding you back from seeing it. The only thing that would hold you back from seeing it is in your attempt to seek truth by virtue of seeking knowledge. The only knowledge worth seeking is knowledge that removes itself. It's the highest purpose of knowledge. What could be a higher purpose of knowledge than knowledge that is sufficient enough to not need it? You see? That's true knowledge. Everything that I've explained right now is what I call thought yoga. Thought yoga is implicit in the best teachers that we've ever seen. And it's something that I've observed, and it's something that I now share in my community and in my academy. So I have a free community. If you want to taste some experiences, go there. I've got surely now hundreds of meditations in there. And I have an academy, which is something you can check out as well. But I recommend jumping into the free community where you can sit with me for free and have a conversation with me and explore some of the concepts and ideas that I'm sharing with you right now. Links in the description. Have an amazing day. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.